Right, it's a quick update video on the electrics, as most of the main electrics are now in. Well, pretty much anyway. I've got a couple of connections to do and then fit the bulkhead into place, and then they're all in. What we've got there is we've got the CTEK MXS25. That's connected to the 240 volt when on hookup. Down to the left there, that's a waterproof socket. It doesn't really need to be a waterproof socket, but I thought it's not going to hurt. That's to power the CTEK MXS25. Below that we have the D250S dual and the Smart Pass. Those two units combined, they charge from the alternator at a rate of up to 100 amps, and they're also connected to the solar panels. It looks like spaghetti junction at the moment, because until I've got the board in place I can't really do too much wire management on it. I'll get in a bit closer and I'll show what each wires do where. If I can get this to focus okay. Okay, this wire here, this is the solar panel. It's connected to the solar panel. This goes down and into a fuse, and then connected directly to the solar panels. Having the fuse there means obviously if there's a problem, then the fuse is going to blow, it's not going to melt the wiring. But secondly, if I've ever got to work on something on the solar panels or on the controller, I can pull the fuse out and it's disconnected them from the controller. Moving down, this is connected to the starter battery. 25mm cable, there's a 100 amp fuse the other end of that beside the battery, and the other side, this wire, which I haven't connected the end up to yet, this is what's going to connect it to the battery bank. It's just got to be connected into the bus bars just here, and then that's all done. The bus bars, all these are is connection points for all of the electrical connections. I've got all of the positive ones on this side and all of the negative ones on here. It just makes wiring it up a lot more simple. Behind you can see these fuses just about. There's 3 of those. They're what power all of the 12 volt appliances in the van, almost all of them anyway. They go up to a fuse board that I'll show you in a few seconds. Is there anything else down here that needs showing? You can see the wiring for the 240 is all in conduit. This is a good idea in a van. If you're an electrical hookup, if you do get a wire chafed or something, you really don't want it going into your van. So putting it into electrical conduit, it's a quick, easy job, cheap. It's just a good safety feature. This is just the heating duct actually for the Truma blown air heater that's going in.
Good morning everybody. Hi Dave.
Oh yeah. That's going to be a panel on here this side, and this will be the part that heats the cab. That'll be run through that panel underneath the fridge and back to the Truma, which will be over there. Following the cables up, on the other side we get to this section. So all you can see all the cables in conduit are all the 240, and the main earth is also in conduit there. And then this runs up to the consumer unit, which hasn't been wired in yet, and the fuse boxes for everything else in the van. Now this section here is actually going to be completely covered inside the wardrobe, with a door on inside the wardrobe. I mean, the whole panel will be removable, but there'll be a door in the wardrobe just between here, just so I can get to the fuse boxes. Just saves having everything on display. I think that's about all there is at the moment. I mean, I've got a main earth bar up there, it makes things simpler. That's also connected though down to the bus bar, just to make sure I've got a really good connection. And that plastic wiring going through there, that's actually the solar panels wiring. Again, all in conduit, just to make sure it never gets chafed or anything. I think what I'll do is I'll finish this off camera, screw the bulkhead into place, and then show it all finished. Give an idea of how we've got it all done. Okay, and that's it with the bulkhead now in place. It's got the clamps on it because the far side is just glued, so I don't want any screws showing. The inside is screwed into the board because that'll all be hidden anyway. And top and bottom, I've cut pocket holes to get them into the floor and the roof. There's a trimmer heating vent coming through. That will be underneath the fridge. That will be insulated. And there it is coming out the other side. I've got to still do all this cable management, but it is all on. I don't know if you can see the lights are on the CTEK. It is all running and working, which is great. I'm going to fit a board across here that will hold the vent coming out like so. So that'll heat the cab area. I've got a trimmer regulator that allows the vehicle to be have the gas on when the vehicle's running and when the vehicle's moving. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I will do a video on that lot anyway, and the whole trimmer system. It's a pretty good bit of kit actually. It's now a lot tidier, even without any cable management. And as I say, you can probably get a better idea of what I mean by all covered now. That line at the back of that board, that is actually the back of the wardrobe. So everything behind it is going to be hidden. I've done it that way because I had the space, because I pulled it out about 720mm from the far wall, so it runs in line with where the bathroom's going to be. Because obviously there's going to be a hell of a lot of wires going behind there with wiring a computer and everything, and it's a nice way of keeping it all nicely hidden and accessible for the future. I don't think there's anything else I can really add now, so I think what I'll do is I'll stop here. It's starting to rain now, so I'm not going to get as far today as I'd hoped. Maybe get the rest of those 240 volt electrics wired in. But that's it for now. Yep, cheers.